Hello YouTube, Beating from the bedroom here, your guitar junkie with another new practice set. I'm going to play through my Marshall half stack because my Marshall DSL 40 CR combo, after 2 weeks, brand new amp, crapped out on me. And I miss it. I really love that sound of that amp. I love the 112 40 watt. I love the tone, everything that came out of it. And I become accustomed to that sound. And of course, you've got 100 watt, 412, different ohms, pushing a different tone than a 40 watt, 112, different ohms. So your ear gets locked into a sound, and then I was trying to make this amp sound like the combo amp, and I'm not doing it too good. So, yeah. I just want to check because I realized that when I started practicing, another reason why my sound was pretty thin is because I had to switch pedals around. I had to put my phaser. I took my vintage phaser off and put a brand new phaser on here. It was like $24 from Amazon. It's got clipping on it. It's a M-Val, M little dot and then V-A-L-L, Mole. So yeah, I can't even, M-O-L-E-C-U-L-E, orange. It's an orange pedal, but I could have a volume boost in clipping. So you couldn't hear that with the other amp that I had, unless you put it in front, unless you played clean. A little bit of dirt, whatever, it just didn't go through. So if I do post this, leave a comment, let me know what you think. I'll probably speak about it at another time, depending on how long this set goes through. But I'll go into the detail with the Marshall and what I'm going to replace it with and why. What am I grabbing that for? I don't know. So I'm working on the timing on this one here and how I'm going to play it. So bear with me. And again, the volume keeps on changing. So let's see if I get it. Yeah, so like I said, that's a work in progress. Or progress, what they would say across the pond. Again, intro with my phaser pedal. yeah, I'm still not satisfied with the sound, the tone, the big change. Where am I going? I don't know. I just passed the number twice. Yeah. Moving right along. My shoe keeps on getting stuck underneath the footrest of this stool. All right, so I was gonna do a fusion thing, but it just goes on and on. I don't want to stop it. I'd rather try to find something where I could, bring the volume down and know it's gonna end instead of just stopping it. Maybe I'll do it. Probably not. But yeah, this is I do a little bit of fusion stuff, and then I was gonna end with this yet again because everyone should be rocking in the free world. me try that Fusion thing if I remember the number. And it goes on forever, so, you know, I'll just stop it. Only because I want to hear Yeah, see what I mean? It is, it goes on. I should narrow that down to like maybe 2 minutes. So, yeah, I finally bought this used a couple of years ago. Finally, restrung it, cleaned and polished the frets and fingerboard. It went from 10s to 9s, so I had to reset the bridge for the Floyd. And man, it plays so good. And so quick story. What time we got? I'll try to make it quick. I get the Marshall DSL 40. I told you the story. I got an open box. I got it. UPS sucks. So of course they tried to hide it, the damaged part of the box that they taped up again, putting it against the inside of my house in the foyer and taking off. I pull it out and the whole back is caved in. They were only going to give me $50 to keep it. It wasn't worth it. Because if you ever resell it or bring it into a store, they're going to say, no. So, brought that back. You know that whole story about bringing the amp back. And I called up and the dude that I spoke to, Justin Ford. Man, I think he's in Nashville. I think. Cool cat. And he said, look, I could definitely take care of it for you. You know, we do the return on that, and I'll give you a brand new one for less than the open box one was. Because the open box one, I was saving like $100 and something. I was like, sweet. I get that. Box has 2 little holes in it. This time I'm out there, and I mentioned it to the UPS driver because they have helpers now, you know, because of the season. And they don't give a crap. So I take it out of, nothing wrong with it. I plug it in, sounds amazing. I take it to a gig, it was flawless, didn't have a problem with it. Came home, I was playing it for 2 weeks straight, every day, haven't even opened up, you know, turned this puppy on. Came in this week, Tuesday, and playing it, it sounds like it's a big muff in front of the amp. Clean or dirty, I'm like, oh man. So I'm like, I'm checking my cord, I'm plugging right into the amp, I'm checking my pedal board, everything, because I had to move some pedals around. Again, I don't know if I mentioned it, but I got a newer phaser pedal that's got clipping on it, and it's got a volume. I can turn it up so you can actually hear it. The other one was great. The vintage phaser was great, but basically, if it was at the end of the chain and playing it clean, it really, that was the sweet spot. through some gain, you would lose a little bit of it. This works out fine. So because I had to move stuff around yet again, going from the back to the front, I didn't plug in the jacks all the way on the pedal. And, but it wasn't, I found that out just today. But I was playing it directly into the amp and it still did the same thing. So I'm like, let me come back the next day. Came back Wednesday, did the same thing. It was, oh man. Long story short, I brought it back to the store. The guy, Zach at Clearwater, which by the way, had an hour-long meeting with James, the manager, and worked everything out. Never really had a bad thing to say about him in the first place. So yeah, he told me it was the power tube, and I described it to him, and I said, do you mind if we open up the box and you take it out? I want to know for sure. He says, yeah, that's the power tube. And I'm like, oh, what's the deal? He says that the tubes used to be made in Russia, but since the pandemic in 2019, they stopped making it. So, and then since then, once the pandemic fizzled out and the businesses were opening up again, of course, the deal with Russia, they started a war, Ukraine. So they're getting the tubes from China. And a lot of manufacturers are getting tubes from China and big brand names. So he says they're just not the same quality. He says, and if you want like an original tube OEM or something, he says you're looking like $400. And I was like, oh man. And so needless to say, they don't sell anymore. They won't have any more Marshall DSL 40CR, it's the newer version, until March of next year. And I'm like, of course, because I loved it. I fell in love with it. The sound is great. It was easy for me to get to the gig. And yeah, so I'm bummed out. And I'm looking and I'm like, I don't know. And they had a 5150 there. That's made by Fender. And I asked the guy, Zach, like I said, very knowledgeable guy. If Fred and Zach are the two go-to guys in the store. And he was like, yeah, he's telling me a little bit about it. So the manager came in. I finally had like an hour-long meeting with him in his office, and we talked things out. And after about 20 minutes after that, we were just shooting the shit, and had a lot in common. And I come home and I didn't get to play it, so I start YouTubing videos on it, and I'm like, wow, this amp really sounds cool. And it sounds sweet, clean, and even though I'm not into reverb, I only use it on the clean channel. It's got a spring reverb, even though I believe it's digital. It sounded really good because the reverbs on the Marshalls just, if they're maxed out, they don't sound good at all. So I'm like, okay, let me see what's up. I call up, I get a hold of my guy, Justin Ford. Leave a message, call me an hour and a half later. This might be him now. Nope. So, yeah, an hour and a half later, I get impatient, so I call up anyone that answers and I start speaking to them about it. And he's like, oh, the best I could do is knock off $90. And I said, well, this is what Justin did for me on the Marshall. Well, let me get Justin for you. I thought he would want the sale. Justin gets on and he's like, okay, let me work with it. He says, let me see, I see you returned it to the Clearwater store. Let me take those funds, and transfer it over to the 5150. He says, and break even. So I'm like, okay, right on. So he said he was going to call me back. They're an hour behind. So he said either today or tomorrow morning. And I'm hoping that I get it for the price of the Marshall amp. Yeah. So I was just hoping I was going to get more than $90 off of it. To be completely honest, if I got like, $100 and had like 2-day shipping, I would be cool, because it's a $900 amp. And the other one was $643. Yeah. So that's where that whole thing is at. And we'll see what happens. Stay tuned. And if I, like I said, if I do post this, please just let me know. Thanks. Have a good day and better tomorrow.